Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitabugHandmaids.com, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited that you're here with me as I announce my February Club Quitabug free card kit. I think you guys are going to love this month's projects. So let's go ahead and get started and let's take a look. Okay, so this month's featured stamp set is Sweet Cupcake. I love this set. This is actually a 3-step stamp set. Lots of fun stamping that you can do with this stamp set, and you've got a ton of different sentiments, and you can even do some mixing and matching to make even more sentiments. So I love this stamp set. So this is the featured set, and our featured ink colors are Soft Suede, Melon Mambo, and Tempting Turquoise. So these are the supplies that I recommend you get this month in order to be a Club Quitabug member. All of the projects that we're making this month are featured around these items right here. But remember, the beauty of Club Quitabug is you can purchase whatever you'd like. You don't have to get what I recommend, but I do recommend that you get this if you want to make the projects exactly as I make them. So all you have to do to be part of Club Quitabug, remember, is spend a minimum of $35 in my online Stampin' Up! Store using this month's hostess code, which I've listed right here on the screen. Don't forget to use the hostess code. Since right now is Celebration, I would recommend going ahead and bumping your order up to $50, because if you do that, then you will not only get your free card kit from me for being a Club Quitabug member, but you will also get to choose a free item from the Celebration catalog. So you'd get 2 freebies, well technically 4 freebies, because you get to make 3 projects in your club kit and you choose a free item from Celebration. So it's worth it to go ahead and bump your order up from $35 to $50. So new customers will get a free copy of the Occasions catalog as well as the Celebration mini catalog in their Club Quitabug package from me. So here's how your free card kit will come packaged when you receive it in the mail from me. I will have 1 each of 3 different designs included in your kit. All of these supplies in your kit are free. This is a thank you from me to you for placing a $35 minimum order in my online store. So here are the projects that we're going to make this month in our February Club Quitabug. So here's card number 1. I love this card. I chose some really fun and bright colors this month since this is a birthday stamp set. I just thought it would be nice to have some really fun, bright colors. So here's card number 1. I love everything about this card. Here's card number 2. I love this card because it's more of a masculine card, and I don't really make a lot of masculine cards, so I thought it would be fun to include one in this month's kit. And then here is card number 3. Again, just fun and bright, and you've got the silver foil. So here are the 3 cards that we're making this month featuring the Sweet Cupcake stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started, and we will make card number 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all of our materials out of our package. I packaged everything really nice and neat for you guys. So here's card number 1. There's all the materials for card number 1. Remember, your card kit does not come with any pre-stamped images. That's why you will need the stamp set, because you do have to stamp everything yourself. Envelopes are included, so I've got those in here. And then you will also have a full color PDF included in your kit. I have all of the measurements for the projects, as well as all of the supplies that I used in case you want to make more. You can order the supplies and make more of these cards as well. All right, so I've got all the supplies for card number 1, and I'm just going to leave out this circle and then this piece of Whisper White. You're going to need this Whisper White for 2 of the cards, so you'll want to save this. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to bring in my piercing mat. I find that it really helps to have this when you are stamping with photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Melon Mambo ink. And I'm really excited to do this 3-step stamping with you guys. Okay, so in the stamp set, let me show you. The way that I like to do it, the stamps are numbered for you. I don't really follow the numbering. They are numbered, but I do it a little bit different. I do it the reverse of the stamp set. So I'm going to start by stamping for the cupcake this image first, this image second, and this image third, okay? So I'm gonna start with the image that's the most solid, which is this one. And you're also going to need some scratch paper because we are gonna do a lot of stamping off. So I'm gonna start with this image. You wanna ink it up, and you wanna stamp it off 2 times. 1, 2, and then you wanna stamp on. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to go to the second most solid image. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm going to stamp it onto my first image, and just try your best to line these up. That's why it's great that it's photopolymer, because you can see through. Perfect. Love it. Okay, and then go to the third stamp. Ink it up, and we're going to leave this one full strength and just go ahead and stamp that down. Let's see. Okay, pretty good. Looks good. Then I'm going to set this piece to the side, and I'm going to get out, where did I put my circle? Get out my die cut circle that comes in the kit. And I want to go ahead and stamp the happy birthday. So let me get that out. All right, so I've got my happy birthday. I'm just gonna ink that up. And I wanna stamp that towards the bottom of my circle, right about here. Perfect. Alrighty, so now we can go ahead and put away our melon mambo. And I'm gonna bring in my soft suede. Open that up, and now we're going to stamp the cupcake bottom, and I'm doing the cupcake the same way. So I'm going to stamp 3, 2, 1. This is technically stamp 3, but I'm going to start with it first. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I've got that most solid image. Ink that up, stamp off twice, and then I'm just going to stamp a little above, right about here. Stamp on. Perfect. Okay, then get the next most solid image, ink that up, stamp off once, and then stamp on. Okay, there we go. A little off on alignment, but that's okay. That's the beauty of stamping. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now the third image, I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to leave that full strength and stamp on. Okay, and there we go. And we can put away the soft suede. All right, so now I'm just going to take my scissors, and I am going to just cut out my little icing for my cupcake. And I'm just leaving a very thin white border around this icing, and I'm turning my paper, not my scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this all cut out. Okay, so now that I've got my frosting or my icing all cut out, I'm going to bring in my card base, and we can go ahead and start assembling this card. So I'm going to start with this piece of Flirty Flamingo Designer Series paper. Remember where's my fast fuse? And just remember that all of the measurements for each of these cards will be available on your PDF. That is a bonus for being a club member. So all of the measurements will be on there. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to take my glimmer here, and I'm just going to banner the ends using my scissors. So I just cut up the middle and then cut in from each side. If you have the triple banner punch, you can also use that. I don't have that, so I just do this. Okay, there we go. And I'll just add a little bit of fast fuse to the back of this. And I'm going to put that in the center right about here. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to add my cupcake topper right about here, and I want it to sort of hang off of this little circle. So I'm going to add that on with a little... Okay, so I'm going to add my cupcake topper on like that. So I'm just going to add that on with some dimensionals. If you don't have dimensionals, I would recommend adding these to your order. They are my favorite. I use them on just about every single card. Okay, so we'll just pop that on. And I want my frosting to kind of hang off the top here a little bit. Right about there. Perfect. And then I'm going to add this layer right here. Again, I'm going to add some dimensionals. Okay, I've got my dimensionals on the back. And we'll just pop this layer right about here in the center. Don't you love these colors? I love the Melon Mambo mixed with the Flirty Flamingo. It's just so fun and bright and cheerful. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a nice crease with my bone folder and we will be finished. Okay, so that finishes up card number 1. What do you think? I love this card. I absolutely love this card. So let me bring in my original, and there we go. First card in this month's Club Quitabug kit. Let's go on to the next card. So I'm going to go ahead, before I go on to card number 2, I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamps. So I've got my Stampin' Mist here and my Stampin' Scrub. If you do not have the Stampin' Scrub, I would really recommend it. It is such a handy tool, and it just makes cleaning your stamps quick and super easy. All right, so I've got all of my supplies for card number 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out this piece of Whisper White and this piece of Tempting Turquoise. I'm going to set everything else to the side, and then I'm going to bring back my scrap piece of Whisper White from earlier. So you're going to need that for this card. And I've got my piercing mat again, and I've got my scratch paper again. Okay, so I've got my soft suede ink, and we're going to make a chocolate cupcake this time. So I'm going to bring back that large solid cupcake image, and I'm just going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp that off 2 times and then stamp it on. Okay, don't worry about that, that's okay. Now I'm going to ink up the second most solid image, and I'm going to stamp off once and then just line that up and stamp on. Perfect. And then the third image, which is the detailed image, we're going to stamp that full strength. So just line that up and stamp it down. There we go, looks good. Okay, so now I'm bringing in my Tempting Turquoise, and we're going to stamp the cupcake bottom, the wrapper, in the Tempting Turquoise. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up the most solid image, stamp off twice, and I'm going to stamp that on right about here. Okay, perfect. Now the second most solid image, ink that up, stamp off once, and then we'll just stamp that on. Okay, and then bring in the detail image and stamp that on full strength. Just like that. Love it. Okay, leave out your Tempting Turquoise. And we're gonna go ahead and take our scissors and cut out your chocolate icing. Alrighty, so I've got my chocolate icing all cut out. And what I wanna do is I'm going to line this up right here, and I'm just gonna bring in a pencil, and I'm gonna mark the tip of my icing, just a little dot right there, just like that. Let me see if you can see that. I just put a little pencil mark. And now what I want to do is I'm going to stamp my candles. Okay, so we've only got, this one's only a 2-step stamp image. So we're going to stamp the candles. So I'm going to bring in the most solid candle image first. I'm going to ink that up in my Tempting Turquoise. And I'm going to stamp off, whoop, move that out of the way, stamp off twice. 1, 2, just like that. And I'm going to look at that pencil mark and just stamp over that pencil mark straight. Okay, just like that, perfect. And then I'm going to bring in the second layer of the candle. I'm going to stamp this full strength on top, okay? Hopefully I can line this up. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so just like that. Then we can go ahead and, actually we still need the Tempting Turquoise. So let's go ahead and stamp on this little piece, make a wish. And I'm gonna put it a little bit over. I don't want it all the way over to the right, just a little bit over to the left. Okay, right about there, perfect. Now we're finished with the Tempting Turquoise. Bring back your soft suede for one last thing. We need to stamp the little smoke piece, like you blew out your candle. We need to stamp that in the soft suede, so I'll just put that right there, just like that. All right, so now we can start assembling the card, and I'm just gonna go ahead and fold over my card base and give it a nice crease with my bone folder. Alrighty, so I've got a Dapper Denim layer that I'm gonna add on top of my card front, my crumb cake, and I'm just gonna use Fast Fuse to do that. Just put that right in the center, right about there, okay? Then I'm gonna add this piece of Dapper Denim Designer Series paper across the center. Again, I'll just use my Fast Fuse. Whoop. Okay, so just put that in the middle. Okay. Then I've got a strip of the silver foil. I'm just going to add Fast Fuse very carefully to the back. Sometimes it does not want to go on. So if you just go slow, I find it works best. And I'm going to put that right across the center. And try not to get your hands on there too much because fingerprints do show up very easily on it. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to put this part of our cupcake layer down. Okay, and we'll just put that off to the left right about here. Okay, just like that. Then I want to take my Make-A-Wish piece. I'm going to bring in my scissors, snip off part of the right side, oh, right about there. And then I'm going to banner the ends. Okay, just like that. And we'll just add a little fuse. Whoops. Pop that right about here. Looks good, make a wish. And then we'll go ahead and add some dimensionals onto the back of our little frosting layer. So I'm just putting 3 there on the back. And we will just add this, let's see, right about there. Looks good, perfect. There we go. So that finishes up card number 2. Let me just bring in my original, and there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this card. I love it. Okay, let's go on to our last card, card number 3. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces for card number 3. So I'm just going to start with this Whisper White circle piece. I'm going to go ahead and bring back my scratch paper and my piercing mat. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my soft suede ink first, and we're going to go ahead and stamp the bottom of our cupcake. So I'm going to start with the most solid image again, ink that up, stamp off twice, and then stamp it on. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my second most solid image, ink it up, stamp it off once, and then stamp it on. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my detail image and stamp that full strength. Okay, there we go. Now I'm bringing in my Melon Mambo, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our cupcake directly, our frosting directly above the liner here. So I'm just going to ink up the most solid image, stamp off twice, okay, and then line it up and stamp it down. Just like that. Now the second most solid image, ink it up, stamp it off once, and then line it up and stamp it on. Okay, just like that. And then the detail image, we're going to stamp full strength. Perfect. So now I'm bringing in my Tempting Turquoise, and there is a little sprinkle stamp in the stamp set. I'm going to ink that up, stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp those little sprinkles, let's see, right here. Okay, ink it up, stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp again here, ink it up, stamp it off, and then let's see if I can get right here. There we go. All right, so now we can start assembling our card. So I'm just gonna bring in my card base, which is some Melon Mambo. I'm gonna go ahead and fold that in half, give it a nice crease. Okay, and then we've got some more of that silver foil, and I'm gonna add some Tempting Turquoise Designer Series paper. I'm gonna add this right about here, leaving a little bit of room there at the bottom. Just put some fuse, don't run out, don't run out. Oh, I'm out. Here, I think. Looks good. There we go. Then you've got some Melon Mambo stitched ribbon in your kit, and you've got about 12 inches. So I'm just gonna add a little bit across the center, and then I'll leave the rest because we need to tie a bow. So let's see, I guess I'll just do about that much. Add some fuse. Okay, and then I'll just wrap this around in the center. So right about there looks good. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this layer onto the front of my card. Alrighty, so I've got that on there like that. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take what I have left, and I'm just going to tie a very simple little bow. Okay, and what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my cupcake onto my doily put that in the center, just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and add dimensionals on the back of my doily. I don't recommend adding snail or fast fuse to the back because it will rip the doily. They're called delicate for a reason. They tear very easily. So I would use either glue dots or dimensionals, or liquid glue if you'd like. But I'm going with dimensionals, so I'm just gonna add that right here in the center. Perfect, this card is so fun, I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to add my little bow on with a glue dot. I'm just gonna roll it up a little bit, stick my bow right in there. Okay, and just add that right on and then trim the ends. Okay, so we're almost finished with this card. You'll notice there's no sentiment on the front. I decided I wanted a sentiment on the inside instead. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my card. And I'm gonna put my fast fuse behind it to keep it open. And I'm going to use my Melon Mambo to stamp a sentiment. So I wanna stamp from the set, "You're one of the sweetest, happy birthday." I'm not gonna stamp the word "and," I just want "You're one of the sweetest, happy birthday." So I'm gonna ink this up to where I only ink up "You're one of the sweetest." I'm leaving off the "and." Okie dokie. And then I'm just going to stamp that right in the center here. Hopefully my head's not in the camera. I apologize if it was. Okay. Just like that. And then "happy birthday" underneath that. Just like that. Cute. Okay, and that finishes up card number 3. "You're one of the sweetest, happy birthday." Let's bring in the original. And there we go. Don't you love this card? So much fun. Okay, so here are the 3 projects from this month's February Club Quitabug card kit. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I absolutely love these cards. I think they're so much fun and just perfect for birthday cards to have on hand, and you can never have too many birthday cards laying around. So again, in order to receive your free February Club Quitabug card kit, remember, all you have to do is make a minimum $35 purchase in my online Stampin' Up! Store. Be sure to use the coordinating host code. It's listed right here on the video. This month's club will run from February 1st to February 26th. So that means, and that's 2017, so that means you have 26 days to place your order and get your free card kit. I will be shipping the first round of Club Quitabug card kits on February the 12th, 2017. So don't forget, celebration is going on. So it's worth it to go ahead and bump your order up to $50 so you can get your free card kit from me as well as your free celebration item. And again, if you have any questions about Club Quitabug, feel free to leave a comment below this video or email me at quitabughandmaids@gmail.com or head on over to my website at quitabughandmaids.com. I have all of the details over on today's coordinating blog post listed out over there so that you guys can get all the information you need about being a part of my Club Quitabug. So thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoy this club every single month. I enjoy doing it for you guys. So thanks again, and I hope to see you in my February Club Quitabug. Bye now.